The whispered promise of discovery hung in the air, a siren's call to the unyielding hearts of scientists. They sought answers to life's most profound mysteries, their minds ablaze with the thrill of the unknown. Amidst this fervent pursuit, one young man stood at the crossroads of history, his footsteps echoing through the corridors of time. His name was yet to be spoken, but his legacy would soon reverberate across the scientific community. As he stepped into his laboratory, a faint scent of iodine and ozone wafted through the air, mingling with the hum of equipment. The flickering light of Bunsen burners cast eerie shadows on the walls, as if the very spirits of science were dancing in the darkness. Henry Moseley's eyes, an intense shade of blue that seemed almost piercing in the dim light, narrowed as he surveyed his domain. His hands, deft and precise, moved with a confidence born of years of practice. Henry's want was clear: to unlock the secrets of the atom, to grasp the hidden patterns that governed the universe. He dreamed of discovering new elements, of charting the uncharted territories of the periodic table. His eyes would gleam with excitement as he envisioned the thrill of the discovery, the rush of knowing he had unearthed something no one else had ever seen. Yet, beneath the surface of his ambition, a deeper fear lurked. A fear of failure, of being dismissed as a mere prodigy, of never quite measuring up to the towering figures of science. His need, as he delved deeper into the mysteries of the atom, was to transcend his own limitations, to prove himself a true master of his craft. He was driven by a burning desire to leave his mark on the world, to make a name that would outlast him. The air was heavy with tension as Henry began his experiment. The hissing of gas, the gentle hum of equipment, and the soft glow of the spectrograph created a hypnotic symphony. He adjusted the dials, his hands moving with the precision of a surgeon, as he carefully calibrated the machines. The room seemed to vibrate with anticipation, as if the very atoms themselves were holding their breath, waiting for the moment of revelation. And then, without warning, the unthinkable happened. A burst of energy shattered the glass ampoule, sending shards of crystal flying through the air. The hissing gas turned to a deafening roar as the laboratory erupts into chaos. In an instant, the delicate balance of the experiment was shattered, leaving Henry staring at the smoking ruin of his life's work. Sweet dreams, dear friends, your sleep whisperer's soothing voice whispers, as Henry Moseley's world is shattered, let the gentle rhythm of my words lull you into a deep and restorative slumber. Feel the softness of your pillow, the comfort of your blankets, and the gentle rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in the calmness of the night. Henry stood aghast, his heart heavy with disappointment. The ruin of his experiment seemed a personal affront, a slap in the face from the universe itself. He felt the sting of failure, the bitter taste of defeat, as he surveyed the wreckage of his dreams. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and smoke, a noxious cloud that seemed to cling to him like a shroud. Yet, even as despair seemed to close in around him, a spark of determination flickered to life within his breast. He knew that he could not let failure define him, that he must rise above the ashes of his destroyed experiment. And so, with a newfound resolve, Henry set about rebuilding, his mind racing with the possibilities of what could be done anew. The days that followed were a blur of activity, as Henry toiled tirelessly to recreate the experiment, to recapture the elusive dream that had slipped through his fingers. His hands moved with a renewed sense of purpose, his eyes blazing with an inner fire that seemed to drive him forward. The hum of equipment, the hiss of gas, and the gentle glow of the spectrograph seemed to take on a new meaning, a new significance, as Henry worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the atom. And yet, even as he pressed forward, a new challenge arose, a complication that threatened to derail his progress. His data, carefully collected and meticulously analyzed, seemed to defy explanation. The patterns he saw, the relationships he discovered, seemed to fly in the face of established theory. Henry's mind reeled with the implications, his thoughts racing with the possibilities of what this might mean. Sleep tight, dear friends, your sleep whisperer's soothing voice whispers, as Henry Moseley's world is turned upside down, let the gentle rhythm of my words carry you into a deep and restorative slumber. Feel the softness of your pillow, the comfort of your blankets, and the gentle rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in the calmness of the night. As the days turned into weeks, Henry's frustration grew. His data, once a source of hope and excitement, now seemed to mock him, taunting him with its very elusiveness. He felt like a shipwrecked sailor, adrift on a sea of uncertainty, with no clear horizon in sight. The air was heavy with tension, as if the very fate of science itself hung in the balance. And then, without warning, revelation struck, a bolt of lightning that illuminated the dark skies of Henry's understanding. The X-ray spectra he had collected, the patterns he had seen, they all fell into place, like the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle clicking into perfect alignment. Henry's mind reeled with the implications, his thoughts racing with the possibilities of what this might mean. He knew, in that instant, that he had stumbled upon something momentous, something that would change the course of history forever. The room seemed to vibrate with excitement, as if the very atoms themselves were dancing with joy, celebrating the discovery that had eluded them for so long. But little did Henry know, his greatest challenge lay ahead, a challenge that would test his resolve, his courage, and his very soul. The journey that lay before him would be fraught with danger, uncertainty, and heartbreak, but Henry was ready, for he had discovered the one thing that truly mattered, the power of the human spirit to persevere in the face of adversity. The days blurred together as Henry delved deeper into his research, driven by an insatiable hunger for knowledge. His laboratory became a sanctuary, a place where he could escape the chaos of the world and focus on the task at hand. The scent of hot metal and burning gas filled the air as he carefully crafted each experiment, his hands moving with precision and purpose. The sun had long since set, casting a warm orange glow over the city, but Henry remained hunched over his workbench, his eyes fixed intently on the data in front of him. His mind was a whirlwind of calculations and hypotheses, as he sought to confirm the pattern he had discovered earlier. The numbers danced before him, a mesmerizing ballet of digits and symbols that seemed to hold the very secrets of the universe. And then, it happened. The final piece fell into place, and Henry felt a rush of exhilaration as the significance of his discovery dawned on him. The X-ray spectrum was not a continuous curve, but rather a series of distinct, discrete lines, each one corresponding to a specific element. The implications were stunning, for this meant that the atomic number of an element was directly related to the energy of its X-rays. But with this revelation came a sense of trepidation, for Henry knew that his discovery would be met with resistance and skepticism by the scientific community. He had always been a man of strong convictions, but he was also aware of the risks of challenging the established order. His heart pounded in his chest as he contemplated the potential backlash, the doubts that would assail him from all sides. And yet, he steeled himself for the battle ahead, his resolve strengthened by the knowledge that he was not just fighting for his own career, but for the advancement of human understanding. The world was changing, and Henry was at the forefront of that change. As the night wore on, Henry's thoughts turned to the legacy that he was leaving behind. He knew that his discovery would outlast him, that it would inspire future generations to continue the work that he had begun. The sense of pride and purpose that filled his heart was bittersweet, for he knew that it would come at a great personal cost. In the end, it was not the triumph of his discovery that defined Henry Moseley, but the courage and conviction that had driven him to pursue it, no matter the consequences. As he lay in bed that night, his mind reeling with the implications of his work, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had faced his fears, and emerged victorious. And so, Henry Moseley found what he had been searching for, not in the world outside, but within himself. Let that thought carry you now, as the night grows quiet. You have heard his story. Now rest in it. Imagine the stars twinkling above, like diamonds scattered across the velvet expanse of the universe. Feel the weight of your own dreams, and the courage to pursue them, no matter the cost. The silence is almost palpable, as the world slows its pace. Subscribe to HISTOREST for more stories of people who inspired others with their courage and conviction. Next week, we will meet another soul who changed the world, one quiet decision at a time. Good night, and may the stars shine bright in your dreams. As you drift off to sleep, repeat the words of the great physicist: the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existence.